Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board Member Alba? Here. Board Member Ducey-Crowley?
Here.
Board Member Storm? Here. Board Member Van Markham?
Here.
Supervisor Sally?
Here. So, we're here for the public hearing for the budget for 2020. As previously described, most of the increases throughout the budget are due to trying to stay pace with the minimum wage increases as well as increases in retirement, health care costs, and other related labor costs. Overall, the entire budget is going up about 3%, which roughly translates to about $15 extra or $15 additional if you paid $500 in taxes and town taxes last year. So with that, I'll open it up to the floor or to the board.
30 or 3,000.
Any comments on the budget? There is one change. The museum has requested that we go back to continuing keeping Kathleen as a town employee for this coming year. They are not ready or prepared technically to take over the duties of payroll, so they're asking the town to continue her on the payroll for the town. So we will change those lines to address that, to show the small increase. I believe she's due to receive $12.25 an hour for the coming year. So we will move those lines. Basically, the entire budget for the museum will not change. It's just moving the line to a personnel and contractual lines. But the entire budget for the museum will remain the same. They're just not prepared to put on QuickBooks and take care of that payroll. They had some changes in their committee members, and the committee members that were going to take care of those duties had ended up resigning. So they're not prepared to take that on. So we're hoping for the following year to address that. Does town board have any questions on the budget? With that, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the budget for 2020.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You? Talk amongst yourselves, and we convene at 7 o'clock.
Now's the time.
Now, Chuck, you can tell Rick whatever you had to tell him that we interrupted. It's probably about some Tom and Jerry cartoon or something. Or the communists or something, yeah, I know. The Germans. Reggie can swing out.
Everybody in this room probably had 10 hours of sleep in the last day.
All right.
It's the breeze. You hold up. Usage. Day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, either way.
I don't think anybody's going to come.
I'll take all that.
27.
Right. Any excuse to get away from family. Are you guys all straight? You get a pretty good turnout. I know when I went to
Except for one jerk that comes in and says he wants steak.
Yeah, and what if you don't?
You get a feel. It's undercooked.
We're gonna do that in March. I'd rather do last time we sat here, it was
I think I understand it.
I'll check before I write it up.
The Roman vet.
I don't have a safe place for anybody to be.
I'd like to call to order the Shandaken Town Board meeting for November 2019. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board Member Alba, here. Board Member Yusufi.
Yes.
Board Member Storms. Here. Board Member Glenn
Here.
Supervisor Dale.
Here. Entertain a motion to approve the previous town board meeting minutes.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
We're not live yet. Ellen, we're not live.
See? Push the button. Supervisor's financial report. October 2019 revenues. Time Warner franchise fee, $18,424.90. Zoning fees, $180. Medical insurance reimbursement, $150.66. Police fees, $45. Ambulance fees, $9,352.79. Town clerk's fees, Easy Pass conservation, $154.06. Rental of real property, $638.54. Justice fees, $9,089. Building permit fees, $5,434. Dog licenses, $94. Central print mail, $188. Registrar, $180. Planning fees, $50. Miscellaneous revenue, Berlin scrap, $118.50. Miscellaneous revenue funds from Cornell, $48,986. $48,986, excuse me. Fuel reimbursement, $26,324.65. Unallocated insurance reimbursement, $355.25. Phoenicia water rents, $18,000. Phoenicia water unclassified revenue, $150, for a total of $137,915.35. Communications. First off, I want to say congratulations to those who fared well in the elections yesterday in multiple different offices. We're still up in the air on questions on where everybody's final tallies are going to be. But I'd like to thank everybody for running a clean race and participating in democracy. That's what it's all about, and everybody got out and voted, so thank you for that. What I would suggest is that anybody that may not win office in this election, I highly suggest, if you want to still stay civically involved, we do have positions available. Specifically, I know there is an opening on the ZBA, and there's an opening on the Parks and Rec Board that need to be filled, so we would love to have volunteers help out with that. There's also, right now, They're preparing for interviews for the planning board and ZBA for renewal of terms of current members that are on that board, and those are still open seats that can be contested. So if you want to stay civically involved, I highly suggest you put your names in for that. Outside of that, for tonight, we have the adoption of the 2020 budget. Again, as explained last month, the 2020 budget overall is going up about 3%, 3.09%, I believe to be exact, which translates to an additional $15 and change for every $500 in town taxes that you paid last year. We do have a resolution to authorize the purchase of some IT equipment for the police department. That is going to be paid, it's an $11,500 purchase, and $10,000 of that is going to be paid through the grant, New York State Justice Department. The court has requested a security system, camera system for the clerk in there for protection. That will cost approximately $3,000, and we're looking to apply to the New York State Justice Court system for a grant through them. We do have to replace a fly car for the ambulance. Chief Muller thankfully found a cheap replacement, about $15,000. Again, I'm saying cheap because know that the last one we purchased was approximately $50,000. So $15,000 is a nice purchase. We've looked to use the Good Neighbor Fund for that. We do have a replacement for the secretary that's leaving the building department. Kerry Rotella, we're looking to hire at $11.75 an hour. Of course, that will increase from January 1 because the minimum wage is due to increase to $11.80. We have a part-time officer who is leaving us, David Kimball, and another officer who will be replacing him, Benjamin Germain. We have a property authorization that we have to give to DOT for a project in Mount Tremper. Again, this is the continuation of the Mount Tremper Bridge replacement project and Route 212 realignment. So we need to sign off on these projects in order to give them access to the properties, usage of the properties in order to continue that project moving forward.
Excuse me, are we selling them the property?
No.
We're just letting
No,
them
part of our arrangement with the DEP. So DEP purchased it on behalf of the town.
Right.
And under that agreement, we're not allowed to take money from the DOT. That'd be kind of like.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was DEP's land. We're just approving it.
DEP purchased the land on behalf of the town. It's the town's land.
Oh.
So that way it makes it easier for us. Like, we're just simply going to do a resolution in order for DOT to get access and usage of the property, whereas DEP would have to go into their legal vortex, which could be months.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot simpler to go through us. Lastly, we've been using this company Magna 5 for our telephone operations. It was previously Cornerstone for years, and we have had nothing but continued problems with dealing with this company, technically and financially. Their costs have increased, and the service has really not been very good. So we're looking to switch over to this new company called Spectrotel, and actually it's going to end up giving us a cost savings of approximately $2,500 a year. So we're looking to switch phone companies. So outside of that, I have no other comments. What's Joyce, you got?
Sure. Not too much, but just want to say, if you haven't signed up for the alert system, I know I sound like a broken wheel, but please sign up for the alert system. And a reminder, the snow is under 6 inches, folks. I'm not going to send that alert. You know, we all live in the mountains, 6 inches and more. Deep freezes to warn the elderly and this and that. We will send that alert. The town clerk's office is getting the tax program up online. We're going to have our own website for that. It's going to be shandakentax.com. You'll be able to look up your taxes. You'll be able to see your neighbor's taxes. It's all information, you know, free information. You can pay your taxes online. You can print out a copy of your bill. So this will make it easier for people, and we save a lot of money doing it rather than the other company that would have done it. The YouTube videos have new software that I could use, so there'll be one video. You won't have to finish one and go to the next one. It's all going to be uploaded as one video. It's a free software the computer guy found for us, so it's really great. I'm looking forward to use it tomorrow. And that's it.
Okay. If there's no further communications from the board, open it up to committee reports. We'll start with the ambulance, Chief Muller.
Good evening. The October 2019 report for the town of Shandaken ambulance, total calls received was 21. Mutual aid was given twice, once to Greene County, town of Hunter, and once to the town of Olive. Mutual aid was received once for a multiple patient auto accident. The undeniable chill in the air has affirmed that those temperate days of early fall are behind us and that soon the flakes will fly. The same is sounding like a broken record in regards to safety at home regarding heat. We've seen an uptick of dwelling fires and injuries around this time of year as a result of simple hazards homeowners can easily avoid. One of the most common would be improper storage or disposal of ashes and wood from wood stoves and similar solid fuel burning heating appliances. As much as one would think that common sense would prevail here, there are multiple instances in our town where improper disposal has had disastrous result. Do not store ashes indoors, on porches, in combustible containers, or underneath overhangs. Also ensure that you are burning the correct fuel in your stoves and chimneys. Chimney fires are a risky thing and can easily spread to the rest of your home. Whenever handling byproducts of combustion, please do not handle them without proper hand protection, and make sure the young ones are kept away. Again, these are all issues that we have dealt with over the not too distant past in the town. In other news, you will hear tonight a resolution to replace one of our paramedic vehicles that has been rendered out of service for quite some time due to various gremlins. As opposed to purchasing a new vehicle, the vehicle found by the ambulance administration is a lightly used, low mileage vehicle for a department in a neighboring county, priced far below Blue Book value. It is nearly fully outfitted and saves the taxpayers of the town approximately $35,000 in outfitting costs alone. This acquisition is yet another way that our ambulance is doing more with less, however, continues to provide cutting-edge emergency medical care to our citizens and visitors alike. P.S. Change the batteries of your smoke detectors. Thank you.
Thank you. Gremlins, gremlins. Well, it wasn't on Christmas, right? It was Christmas when the gremlins. Move on to building and zoning. Howard could not make it tonight, so Councilperson Storms.
There are 9 building permits, 47 building inspections, 1 fire inspection, 8 certificates of compliance, 2 stop work orders, and 2 violations, and the total income for the month of October was $2,478.30.
Police. Chief Stewart.
204 calls for service, 61 summons, 9 arrests.
See, Rich? See how that's done? See how that's done? It's just done.
I can do that?
No, I don't think you're good. Felicia Water.
Well done, Lieutenant. Thank you. Things are running well at the water plant. We're under 50,000 gallons per day. We've been as high as 110, 120. So it's pretty good. Rick has new signs with the address, so he gets deliveries properly. And next meeting is the 20th. Thanks.
Thank you. Pine Hill Water, again, there's no report, but I can tell you we will have a motion. Again, as I mentioned at the last meeting, Donnie Clark, the superintendent of the district, has concerns about income, revenue for the district, so we're looking at increasing the usage rate for Pine Hill Water. That would be starting at the beginning of next year. Currently, the rate is set at about $3.59 per 1,000 gallons. That's in addition to the standard flat rate per quarter of $50. So we would be increasing that to $5 per 1,000 gallons, which is almost similar to what you're paying in Fuji. Museum? Anybody from the museum?
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
This is the director's report for October 2019. We had 53 visitors this month. The museum was closed last weekend and business tapered off as business tapers off this time of year. On the 12th, the Big Indian Native American Culture Center gathered here. After their usual meeting, they removed the cover from the teepee, storing it for the winter. The poles are still standing in our authentic representation of the native tradition. They will gather here again on December 14th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. The Dream Catchers Workshop will be held and will be open to the public. We have been asked to join a mentor program, providing a local student with a working educational experience and hope to meet with them soon. We have decided to go forward in this program. We also have 2 people interested in becoming board members, and we'll invite them to our next meeting. We hope to have them join us soon. There seems to have been a delay in the maintenance being done. We still need a railing put in and the gutter put on the back of the building. I'm sure our contractor will be back soon. We want to thank Rob Stanley for his continuous support. The Shandaken Museum recently celebrated 30 years, and those years have been a struggle. Now we are moving forward again, and the town supervisor has been a positive influence in our preservation of our history. Thank you very much. Kathleen Myers, Director, and Historian.
Recreation, no report. Again, we are still looking for a member for,
We're looking for park managers for Parish Field and for Smith Park, and the director, if anyone's interested.
okay. With that, we move on to public comments and resolutions.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You are applying funds from the Good Neighbor Fund to purchase the ambulance flight car?
Yes,
How much is left in the Good Neighbor Fund?
approximately $300,000.
Okay.
Any other
Do we
questions?
get interest on that?
Barely,
Barely?
barely. There's not a lot of interest on checking accounts. Is there some checking accounts? On any accounts.
Maybe we should put it to some CDs.
We've tried that in the past, CDs haven't been turning, then we can look at doing a
I can
long-term
give you some information on
money
that.
market. Okay.
Yeah, that might
Again, if
help.
we can find an increase on interest.
We just don't know what the idea is, and we're making good money.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you about it.
That'd be great. Any other comments and resolutions? If not, we'll move on to motions. So I do have we have 2 motions. One, entertain a motion to set up for a public hearing special meeting regarding Pine Hill Water District rate change for Wednesday, November 27th at 1 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And second one is regarding the Shandaken septic. So there were a number of homes identified in the Shandaken Septic Maintenance District, or what is to be the Shandaken Septic Maintenance District. 12 properties were identified as being available to get what's called an enhanced system. So an enhanced system is basically a peat moss biomass pre-filter system before it goes into the leach field, or goes into the septic tank. This is being done because these lots tend to be smaller lots, and it's difficult to get the leach field set 100 feet away from their well. Now, DEP will allow these folks to have that set up. They can stick with a standard septic system, and the leach field can be within the 100 feet of the well. But it also can contaminate their well over a long term. So they're being offered these enhanced systems that the DEP will pay through the CWC program to put these enhanced systems in. They were offered to 12 property owners. 10 of those property owners have accepted that and signed on to get those systems. So we are looking to sign a change order to allow those systems to be completed within the block grant that we have. It does not increase the cost dramatically. I think the total overall cost for all the systems that want to get an enhanced system is approximately $127,000 out of the $6.2 million that we have available to us. So I'm looking for a motion to sign a change order to allow these 10 homeowners to get their enhanced system.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Will I need their names to do the motion for them?
No.
No, just say it.
No, we have, because it's just to do the change order. One of them is still kind of on the fence. They want it located in a certain part on their parcel, but they're not sure, the engineers aren't sure if they can physically do that. So that one's kind of still in question. So it may be 11 instead of just 10. But one has absolutely said they won't have it at all, and that's their prerogative. With that, we will move on to resolutions.
Resolution 12219, resolution to pay all bills. Whereas the Department of Audit and Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment, to number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. From general, $60,746.33. From highway, $209,000, $213.30. Phoenicia Water, $4,163.14. Pine Hill Water, $1,754.72. Phoenicia Lights, $918.01. Chichester Light, $145.71. Pine Hill Lights, $553.27 for a grand total of $277,494.48. I move its adoption.
A second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor Savage?
Resolution 12319, resolution adopting 2020 preliminary budget as 2020 town budget. Whereas the town of Shandaken has prepared a 2020 preliminary budget for review, therefore be resolved the town board of the town of Shandaken following a public hearing held at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 6, 2019, hereby adopts the 2020 preliminary budget as amended as the 2020 town budget for the town of Shandaken and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor Savage?
Yes. Resolution 12419, authorized purchase of electronic equipment for Town of Shandaken Police Department. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Police Department is in need of updated electronic equipment, whereas the police chief has identified the equipment to be acquired through New York State OGS, and whereas said equipment can be purchased through available NYS DCJS funding, what is that again, the DCJS?
It's actually.
Department of Criminal Justice
Send and
System
receive
funding.
proposals.
Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into agreement to purchase said equipment at a cost of $11,500. Correct.
It's less than that, and 10,000 be reimbursed for the rest.
From Island Tech Services located at 980 South 2nd Street, Ronkonkoma, New York, 11779, and move its adoption.
We have different numbers.
Yeah, it's.
That's what I
Yeah,
just
it
said.
had to be changed.
Second.
Good catch. Thank you.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor Savage?
You got to about that, baby.
They caught that.
Resolution 125-19, authorized purchase of security equipment for Town of Shandaken Court. Whereas the town justices have identified the necessity for security equipment necessary to ensure the safety of themselves, employees of the town, and visitors to our town court. And whereas said equipment can be purchased through available grant funding from the Justice Court Assistance Program. Therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby authorize the supervisor to apply for up to $3,000 in funding from JCAP in order to purchase said security equipment. I move its adoption.
I second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor Savage?
Yes.
Resolution number 126. Resolution for purchase of replacement ambulance vehicle. Whereas the Town of Shandaken ambulance chief has identified an emergency response vehicle for replacement, and whereas the ambulance chief has provided specifications and pricing for a compatible and suitable replacement vehicle, and therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby authorize the town supervisor to purchase the vehicle. A 2011 Chevy Tahoe with funds from the Good Neighbor Fund, recommended for a price not to exceed $15,002, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms? Yes. Board Member Van Barcom?
Yes.
Supervisor Savage?
Yes.
Resolution 12719, building zoning secretary. Whereas under section 20 of the town law, The town board shall designate or appoint all officers and employees of the town. Therefore be it resolved that the following person be appointed as interim building/zoning/planning secretary, Carrie Rotella, at $11.75 per hour, and I move its adoption.
A second?
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Resolution 12819, Town Police Department. Whereas the town of Shandaken is a town of the second class, and whereas there is a town police department, and whereas the town currently employs 3 full-time officers and is contractually required to maintain 4 full-time officers. And therefore be it resolved that pursuant to town law of the state of New York, section 21B, the town board hereby appoints the following individual as part-time police officer to receive compensation as indicated. Name Benjamin Germain, part-time, compensation $20.28 per hour. And that said police officer shall have all the powers conferred upon police officers by the general laws of the state of New York, including but not limited to, and such powers not inconsistent with law, as are hereinafter set forth. And that said police officers shall have all powers designated in section 2.20 of the criminal procedure law of the state of New York, and shall have the following special duties. 1, to enforce all local laws, ordinances, and regulations of the town of Shandaken. 2, to enforce the vehicle and traffic law of the state of New York to the extent that police officers may be so permitted by the general laws of the state of New York. 3, to enforce such penal statutes as police officers are permitted to enforce pursuant to the general laws of the state of New York, and in furtherance of said special duties, police officers are hereby authorized to use of a town vehicle to be known as the police officer's vehicle, which may be equipped with emergency lights in accordance with applicable sections of the vehicle and traffic law, and may use the state and county radio to the extent permitted by the general laws of the state of New York, and may carry firearms while on duty in compliance with the general laws of the state of New York pertaining to police officers generally. Be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Shandaken hereby accept the resignation of part-time officer David Kimball and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes. Resolution 12919, authorize supervisor to execute agreements with New York State DOT regarding properties required for infrastructure project. Whereas the town of Shandaken is working with the New York State Department of Transportation, DOT, toward the execution of the replacement of the New York State Route 28 bridge in Mount Tremper. And whereas the town, through assistance of the New York City DEP, has acquired parcels to move this project toward construction due to begin in the spring of 2020. And whereas certain agreements need to be made between the town and NYS DOT in order to meet the scheduled deadlines. Therefore, be resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby empower the town supervisor to enter into and execute the agreement and any subsequent papers which might be required to secure payment of the following claims. Proceeding 14768, PIN 8018.46.221, SH16, Ulster, Delaware, Part 1, Map 152, Parcel 222. Proceeding 14768, PIN 8018.46.221, SH16, Ulster, Delaware, Part 1, Map 153, Parcel 223. Proceeding 14768, PIN 8018.46.221, SH16, Ulster, Delaware, Part 1, Map 155, Parcel 225. And proceeding 14768, PIN 8018.46.221, SH16, Ulster, Delaware, Part 1, Map 157, Parcel 227. Everybody get that?
Yeah, we got it.
And move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
And final, right, resolution 130-19, authorized agreement with Spectrotel for town phone system services. Whereas the town utilizes a communications firm to manage its phone system requirements, and whereas the supervisor has identified a need to change services due to issues with the current provider, and whereas Spectrotel has provided the town with a viable and more fiscally responsible plan to manage the systems through its agent, Twin Bridges Solutions, LLC, located at 911 Central Avenue, Suite 24, Box 108, Albany, New York, 12206. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into agreement with Spectrotel to provide municipal phone services to the town, and then move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blark?
Yes.
Supervisor Shannon?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to open public comment.
I have a question.
Mrs. Rice, yes.
How long have we had, has Town of Shandaken had the Good Neighbor Fund?
1990.
One?
Somewhere there?
So in 20 years, only 100,000 has been spent from that?
No,
No.
approximately, it was 600 originally, so 300,000 has been spent over 20 years. Any other comments? Open public comments?
Public comments?
Oh, here we go. Just pull Rick's comment.
Couple of things. I'd like to thank Gail Alba for her time as
She's not done yet, she's got another month.
on the board.
Don't give her the month off.
Just in case, we have a snowstorm. Also, I looked in my notes, a year ago, I talked about the trees that were along Plank Road, 14, and I asked if anybody called the Public Service Commission, NICEAG, Central Hudson, and now we're paying for it. There were some places that were out 4 or 5 days with no power. Luckily, it wasn't cold. It may have been cold to them, though. And also, down in Mount Tremper, 2 trees came down and just luckily didn't hit the bedroom with the crib where there was a baby there. And these are 2 huge pine trees that are, you've got pine trees in town here that are just too big, they gotta be cut down. Period.
Well, again, Rick, first off, the town is not gonna go onto private property to cut trees. We
Well,
can't go into the
we
forest
gotta do
preserve.
something.
We can't go into the forest preserve.
Yeah.
Secondly, NICEAG is doing the best they can. I agree that they should be clearing the lines a little bit better than they do.
Yeah, they
Um,
don't, they're not doing
And I will say that, the folks down at Mount Tremper, yeah, Shoe House Road, that was an absolute disaster down there. Some little microburst landed right there on that little cul-de-sac and just blew that up. There was no way in or out.
Yeah.
And those people were, I mean, they really were at desperate measures on Saturday when we were
Right.
there. But the crews were there, they were cutting it up, trying to address it as best they
There was a
could.
tree down today.
Again, know that NICEAG had 30,000 customers out. We at the top end had approximately 250 people out.
Yeah.
So there is gonna be a bit of a shakeout from that when they look at the numbers and they go, well, we got 30,000 people out, you got 250.
Yeah.
Luckily, they did send a crew, they did have a crew in Chichester working away that day, the first day that it occurred. Saturday, they really sent, they had like, I think 5 crews in the town.
Yeah.
So they were addressing it as best they could. Ultimately, you can't guess, you've got pine trees, first of all, pine trees are very shallow rooters, they're gonna fall all the time. Ash trees are dying by the dozens at this point.
Yes.
We can't
Maples,
keep
too.
up with it, you can't. You know, as a township even, Eric's having a hard time trying to address it where they're in the right of way for the roads, so they don't fall on people's cars.
Yeah.
I don't know how nice it can address this with the miles and miles of power
I
lines
looked
that
at
they have.
last year, I talked about it, and now, and if we get into January, February, when we have the cold weather, we're gonna be in trouble.
And the heavy
Um,
snow.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
Now, the second thing is, what's going on with the creeks?
I was
They
gonna
have
say,
to be
it's
dug
the
out.
stream again, I know it's coming.
What's going on with them?
Huh?
What's going on with the creeks?
Water flows downhill and erosion occurs constantly.
Yeah, well, they have to be dug out.
Okay.
Now,
We were thinking of hiring a group of gophers to help assist us in that, but
Gremlins.
gremlins. Gremlins, eh? 2 birds, 1 stone, that's great.
Let's get serious.
Right. I'll sign a contract with the gremlins. Any other public comments? Yes, Mr. Perez.
This is old business, but it's going to apply to whoever's on the town board for the near future. We have a serious problem with the lack of emergency communications within the town. A couple, 3 weeks ago, I understand that there was an outage in Chichester where numerous people up and down the corridor were without telephone service.
Yes.
And the answer that you would get, well, use your cell phone. Well, that's fine if you have cell phone service. I don't know, again, this is just making a comment. It's not placing blame on anybody, but if we don't address it as a cohesive voice to talk to the powers that be and ultimately insist upon coming into the 21st century, I don't have the answers, but if we're not talking about it, nothing is getting done either. So every time there's an incident where we have an emergency, or again, that was an example, but it's going to happen again where we have an emergency where people are going to be without power or without cell phones, and somebody's life is going to be hanging in the balance. And I just hope that it's something that we can address together.
Are you talking about cell phone service?
So I'm talking about cell phone service.
Just talking
No,
about
the
cell
phones went out.
So what happened was,
Yeah, Trump.
yeah, it was, the 688 exchange went down on Verizon. It wasn't through Time Warner, it was directly related to the copper lines that Verizon uses. So anybody that's on a standard landline through Verizon lost their service for a few hours, actually. It wasn't more than a day. We were on top of it. We were in touch with Ulster County Emergency Services. As a matter of fact, I was sitting with Rich when it happened, when it all went down, and I called Steve Peterson, and he started to address it, and it was something to do with a transformer in Kingston, a switch in Kingston, because it was the entire 688 exchange that went down. 254 was still up. Again, we do our best to try to address communications, but as you said, we had it during the snowstorm last year, 2 years ago, when we had the big storm, and the cell tower in Pine Hill went down. Like, I don't know how you address communication if the cell tower goes down. So even if the cell tower goes down, then we're basically stuck with smoke signals. I mean, the best thing we can do, and I think Joyce has done a fair job of this, is that when we do get new people into town, they provide them with the communications card and express to these people that, listen, you know, if an emergency does occur, your firehouse is your closest place to get information. It's your best place to get information. And just we need to have that information available at those firehouses. Again, I know they're not housed all the time, but that's your central communication point. Come heck or high water, as best I can explain. But yeah, we're always trying to, I'm constantly talking to our cell tower company about trying to get Verizon on that tower. I've personally driven people around to lots to show them locations where they could possibly locate a cell tower, and it just doesn't happen. Like, you can't make.
I think it's going to come from a higher power. It may be beyond the point of the town board influencing the powers.
I agree.
Whether it be the county or the state level, something has got to be done. I mean, we've been living like this forever, and if we don't speak with one voice, we're never going to see change.
I totally agree, and you as well as anybody know that the only reason Margaretville's got a cell tower is because Cuomo was there.
Okay.
I mean, let's be real about it. Cuomo fell in love with Margaretville, and they got a cell tower after everything. We need a better communication network through the entire Catskill Park. I mean, throughout. There's just hollows and stuff that need to have better communication throughout. Yes, sir. Mr.
I'd actually like to point out something I spoke about for the last 8 years, which is the road in Olive Maria. There is a finger to be pointed here, and it has nothing to do with anyone in this room. This is a county road. It's been mismanaged for many, many years. We're now getting water on the road below the McKinley Hollow Bridge, which has been a problem. Maple syrup has been flooded with each heavy rain in the last 4 or 5 rains. There is not a single effort from county to do anything about it. It's a safety issue. That road will wash out after 2 more floods. I was amazed what happened last time without even an eye blink or anything, and everyone upstream from McKinley Hollow is then cut off from the rest of the town. And so somebody needs to mention this to council, because there is not even a pinky being left in there. And when I make the effort to call, I get told about the 15 other agencies that are involved. And I'm done being frustrated.
Appreciate that.
Again,
Exactly what you're talking about.
no blame in this room.
We have,
The culvert.
no, this is, the stream is physically above the level of the road. You can drive on the road past, coming down from McKinley Hollow. You drive along the road, and you can take video, and you can see where the stream bed is actually above the level of the road. And as Adam said, a small rainstorm event.
We've also had additional change in the flow of the stream, actually directly behind my upstream property, that is redirecting the main flow back towards where the homes are. And that was corrected back in 1990, before they stopped berming that stream. And actually, I put in for a Freedom of Information request on laws and bylaws and the management of the stream, and instead of getting information, I got a state official to tell me why I couldn't get that information. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but it doesn't smell good.
Again, Eric and I can attest, like we applied to FEMA, everything, and the only place that FEMA was willing to address was above the McKinley Hollow Bridge. They won't even look at below the McKinley Hollow Bridge.
And that's where the
that's on
problem is.
county.
Yeah.
And we've talked to county multiple times about this situation up there. And I hate to say it, but I'll say it on record, you know, not for nothing, but after Irene, that's the time they could have just jumped right in there and cleaned that up when they were handing out permits like they were lollipops.
And I was pushing.
They could have addressed it, and
nowhere.
they chose not to.
I got nowhere.
So right now, because of no disaster being declared in the past couple of years, it's all falling to environmental groups and preservation groups. So they don't want you in there. It's the DEC and their stream and the DEP. I mean, it's all those groups.
But there isn't a person, say, at county, you know, because it's a county road, so it's a safety thing. There isn't a point person that can be identified to try to pressure into getting something done.
The person is going to be Pat Ryan, county executive. Okay? That's your point person.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to say, and I have high hopes that he will address it if you bring it to his attention.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comments? Not. I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting. We would like to close the meeting in memory of Amy Wright. Entertain a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Requirements. Now, although this statute is intended for the person